There.
Over here! Emma!
All right.
Hey guys, hope you're all doing well. So today I'm going to talk about what I think are the top 3 best samurai movies. Just in conjunction with playing Ghost of Tsushima, because Ghost of Tsushima catches a lot of the best aspects of those movies. There's a reason why it's probably like a 10 out of 10 game. It really is a good game. So these 3 movies you will pretty much know, probably indirectly, except for one of them. One of them is a little bit obscure, probably because of how, gory and horrible it is. But you should know at least 2 of them. If not, you should know the structure of 2 of those movies. Obviously the best is probably Seven Samurai. It is basically a group of 7 samurai defending a peasant village against bandits. That was eventually made into the Magnificent Seven in the West, which is a cowboy movie of a group of 7 cowboys defending a town from in the remake, I think it's like an oil baron. But in the original, yeah, not far off. Same principle as Bandit, really. But it's good because it's one of those few against many underdog stories where they have to deal with the problem. They have to use strategic cunning. It really captures the idea of not a naive hero, but a hero who is also very cunning and very well versed in warfare, combat, deception, and all that sort of thing. Because a lot of the time the hero in movies is sort of naive and a little bit at the mercy of deception from the villain, right? Not in these. In these, the heroes are extremely well versed in military tactics, deception, the whole deal. Perhaps even more so than the bandits. And because they're like so strategically and tactically superior, they managed to turn the tides on the bandits, because they're outnumbered like 10 to 1 or something like that. But it's just one of those classic samurai stories that captures the idea that the hero doesn't need to be naive. The hero can be like extremely competent, even competent in ways that are evil. Like, it's, since he's killing bandits and bandits are evil, even though the movie Seven Samurai, well, it's more in Magnificent Seven, but Magnificent Seven tries to show the bandits as also starving, so it's a little bit more grey. Like, they are still taking advantage of peasants and stuff, but they themselves are starving and will die just because of the ruthlessness of it. That's not in Seven Samurai too much, but it sort of has that little bit of anti-hero to the heroes in it, where they're not just naive, they're not reactionary depending on the villain, they're proactive and they actively crush evil, which is a good hero trope. The next movie of the top 3, which I reckon is one of the best 3 samurai movies, is Sanjuro. So there was originally a Clint Eastwood movie that kind of blew up and took all the shine off of it. I think it was A Fistful of Dollars. It's basically the one where he goes into the town. There's 2 rival gangs controlling the town, essentially, and he plays them off each other to destroy both of them. It was kind of used as the structure for Lucky Number 11 as well. The idea that, like, one dude comes in sort of undercover, sort of double agent for both sides, and intentionally tries to destroy both sides, which are both, you know, evil, criminal, corrupt authorities, right? Again, it's also, like, continues the trope of the hero being supremely competent in ways of deception, as well as, you know, ways pretty much of evil, rather than, again, being naive, playing off the evil, and outdoing evil through guts and sacrifice. It is rather than outdoing evil through competence and strategy and tactics. But yeah, basically Sanjuro is a Ronin samurai, is wandering around doing nothing, stumbles across a town with 2 gangs in it. He sort of discovers what both gangs are, and then he plays off both gangs to destroy each other. So it's basically a good little story. The same principle as Lucky Number 11, essentially. Righto, so for the third, I'll just throw the third out there. I'll pick something a bit more novel, because, like, both of those movies are classics. And because they're so classic, a lot of people will know them. Sanjuro's maybe a little bit more obscure than the Seven Samurai. Seven Samurai is pretty common, pretty bread and butter. And look, you've got all the other different types of movies as well. Like, you've got Rashomon, you've got the Hidden Fortress, and all that sort of deal. Hidden Fortress was said to have inspired Star Wars. I didn't really care for it that much. Rashomon's cool in more of an experimental idea, because Rashomon was the unreliable narrator sort of deal, where it tells the story from several different points of view. Again, it appeals more to pretentious types, because the story plays out multiple times, different according to each of the main characters at the point of their perspectives. But yeah, you've got those movies too. I don't think they compare, so I'll throw them in a bit more of a wild card. Alright, I'm going to throw in 13 Assassins, the Takashi Miike remake. Just because it's so fucking gory and kind of horrible. Like, the main villain in that you fucking really hate is just this entitled sadist scumbag piece of shit that, like, commits rape, murders the husband, and then, like, captures and tortures, like, a peasant girl and, like, cuts off the peasant girl's arms and legs. And, like, Takashi Miike is sort of this gore director. He's known for his psychological horror and his gore and that sort of shit. So, like, he executes it well to be, like, really weird and sort of Japanese nightmare. It's, like, well executed. And after this, which is, like, the inciting incident, you have a sort of glory-hungry samurai just taking on board this idea of bringing this, like, feudal lord dude to justice and, like, killing him. And it's just interesting how they sort of show it. Like, he's so excited to kill him and bring him to justice for glory. It's like this idea of actively seeking to be like a hero. And obviously he gets another 13 samurai, and the whole movie sort of builds up to this ambush in this town of this, like, feudal lord and his, like, massive military force. And they just ambush them in the town. They block them off with all these, like, big tree trap sort of things, and then they just smash them from rooftops with arrows, and then eventually, like, descend on them and sword fight them and kill them all. And it's just this big, like, it's a really pretty long action scene. It's like 30-40 minute long action scene, and it just ends with this, like, evil scumbag piece of shit feudal lord getting his fucking head cut off and having it roll into the toilet. And it's sort of this, like, crude Japanese dishonor thing, and the whole thing just plays really well. It's, like, very unique. It's very novel. Like, if you guys haven't seen it, it's also pretty fucked up though, so, like, fair warning. But it's, yeah, it's just this very unique sort of samurai movie that, yeah, you don't get a lot of. And it's essentially like an action movie that just builds up to, like, one set piece at the end, one climax at the end. And, yeah, it's very good. Has a lot of the same elements as before. The heroes are, like, grossly outnumbered, and yet they're not naive. They're all, like, well versed in terms of, like, military strategy and tactics. So they're able to overcome, like, the horrible odds with smarts rather than, you know, guts, courage, heroism, all that sort of thing. Like, they have that too, but it's more about the tactics involved, like the trapping of the larger force in an area, the smashing of them with arrows, and then obviously descending on them at certain points to, you know, rip them apart. It's, like, sound militarily speaking, which is, it's more realistic, and it shows heroes not as, like, sort of naive and sort of stupid. It shows the heroes as fucking intelligent. They know what they're fucking doing, right? And I prefer that in a movie when compared to sort of the naive, sort of lucky hero that has to rely on either help from moral pets or luck or, you know, shit like that. I like the ones where they rely more on their own wiles and cunning and that sort of deal. It seems more realistic, if you know what I mean. So just to point out, like, Japanese culture can be good when all of its carrots and sticks and pleasing the one authority, pleasing the emperor and God and all of that is pushed towards good. That's not always been the case with Japan in history, right? Because you've got Unit 731, your intense disgust response, your war crimes against other forces, like executing prisoners, torturing prisoners, that sort of deal. The ruthlessness, like, associated with that through honor. And then you've also got your mass suicides, like after the Battle of Saipan, where they all jumped off the cliff. Rather than, retreating and being useful as a force elsewhere on the island, they've sort of given up and, like, do this mass ritual suicide. So, like, Japan's, like, obedience to authority and devotion to something is, like, really like a double-edged sword. And the 3 movies I've highlighted, like Sanjuro and Seven Samurai and 13 Assassins, they show devotion to, like, the heroic ideal, like the heroic competent ideal, rather than the evil obedience to authority, even if it's corrupt authority ideal, which was like Japan during World War II, when they were like machine gunning nurses and doing the Bataan Death March and all that horrible shit. Unit 731, like the medical experimentation, which was pretty useless, by the way. They didn't learn a lot from it, on Chinese and other prisoners of war and just regular civilians that they just captured and experimented on. Like, that devotion to that single-mindedness can, like, go both ways, and these movies, like, highlight the single-mindedness towards heroism, which is, ideal. But you should never forget, Japan, like, original OG Japan, was a fucking two-edged sword big time.
Right. Hey! Up ahead! To your right! Shotgun! clean. Shit.
This is bad.
There we go!